Hi there, my name's Arthur, and in this video, I'm going to take you through the steps of unlocking your first ever ring muscle up. As a guy who's been through the whole process of learning the muscle up, so I'm just going to quickly go over my own progression. So here's my first ever time on the rings. As you can see, I wasn't very good because I wasn't using the full script and stuff, but at least I was trying. And it just makes it more satisfying if you're completely rubbish at the start, because when you actually get to unlocking the muscle up for the first time, it makes it a whole lot more satisfying. My friend also had some attempts, but we just thought it was impossible at this point. But we knew one day we would get it, which made it a whole lot better. So here's the next point in the progression. About a week and a half had gone by, and I'd gained a bit of strength at this point because I started researching about the full script, which allowed me to gain more strength, and I actually almost got it here. So after a few more times on the rings, I go to when I first got it, in inverted commas, for the first time. I was obviously very happy with myself.
Yes! Yes!
And I was just loving life at this point. I made a lot of YouTube shorts on my channel, and I was just proud of myself for getting it for the first time. It's also good to note at this point I started doing weighted calisthenics, also known as street lifting, which is when you add weight to your body weight on pull-ups and dips. I've already made a full guide on weighted calisthenics, so if you're interested, check out that video. But the reason why weighted calisthenics, or just calisthenics in general, and doing pull-ups and dips is the best way to train for the muscle up, basically just because you're training your strength with your body weight, your pulling strength and your pushing strength. Mainly, I'd focus on the pulling strength because it's the part that most people struggle with, and I struggled with the most. But ideally, your goal should be to, on the body weight pull-up, be able to comfortably bring the bar to your chest, or maybe even higher than your chest, because this is essential if you want to be able to do the muscle up, as you literally bring the rings to your chest when doing the muscle up. So make sure that you're including weighted dips and pull-ups into your workouts. Work on bringing your chest as high as possible up to the bar on the pull-up, and you'll actually gain a lot of muscle from this, especially in your back, but just in your whole upper body in general. Especially if you use a technique called progressive overload, which is when you add either weight or reps to your sets every time you train. Also, make sure that you don't do weighted pull-ups or weighted dips 2 days in a row. Always take a rest day in between your weighted calisthenics so that your muscles can effectively recover. I would definitely prioritize doing normal pull-ups over lat pull-downs, because pull-ups are a much more accurate representation of the thing that you actually want to improve your strength on, which is the muscle up. In case you want me to tell you how to actually start working out on the rings, you just need to buy them online. These are the ones that I personally bought. But whilst it's a little bit expensive, if you share the cost with a friend or a couple friends who you're going to do the ring training with, then the cost of the rings can really decrease. It can also help hugely with consistency, because if you have a routine of meeting somebody for rings every Saturday, let's say, then you're more likely to turn up every week, given that there's another person who you're letting down if you don't go. Next, you need to find your tree to do the gymnastic rings on. If you have a woods near your house, then this is perfect. But you could equally attach your rings to a pull-up bar if you have one at your house. The perfect tree would be tall enough so that you can do muscle ups on it, but not too tall, because you still need to be able to chuck the bands over which are attached to the rings. This is an idea of what the perfect tree would look like. See how it's nice and sturdy as well. The thickness and sturdiness of the tree is the most important, and I'm telling you this from experience because I learned this the hard way. I started using this sort of rotten branch in the woods, and then I ended up getting quite a bad back injury because the branch actually snapped, and then I fell on my back. And I was completely out of training for like a week and a half. So that highlights the importance of picking a sturdy tree. So make sure that you learn from my mistake, and please don't pick a rotten and weak tree to hang your rings on. So now that you've found the perfect tree in your area and you've taken your rings there, it's time for your first ever time on the ring. So I just recommend that you try out the basic movements of the chin up and the dip, as this is just going to get you used to the feelings of being on the rings and how they shake, which they really do. Here was me and my friend's first time on the rings. As you could probably tell, our tree was way too low down, so we decided to pick a new tree, this one. We'd hang our rings over this short branch coming out of the main trunk, which was much higher than the other one, which meant that we were able to do muscle ups on them, and therefore I was happy, as at this point I was desperate to be able to do the muscle up.
Push.
So now that you've found the perfect tree in your area, it's time for the fun part where you get to train specifically to get the muscle up. You can see me on screen doing chest to ring, full script chin-ups, which is the best way to train for the muscle up. Remember what I said earlier about how I was already working on bringing my chest to the bar on the weighted pull-up? This is where all that pull-up training is going to come in handy, as your pulling strength hopefully should be strong enough now for you to bring the rings to your chest on the pull-up part of the ring muscle up. But you still won't get anywhere close to bringing the rings to your chest on the pull-up unless you use the full script. The full script is explained in my course, so if you're interested in that, then leave a comment below so that you can let me know if you want to be my first ever customer. The course will have my best ever advice along with my one-to-one coaching, which will guarantee you to unlock your first ever muscle up in under 2 months maximum, but most likely under a month. That's pretty much everything for today's video. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.